Good evening, folks. Got a little stormy weather going on out here in Florida. It's supposed to last all the way through the 4th of July. This evening I'm going to throw together a quick batch of my mother's Brunswick Stew recipe. My dear sweet mother, who passed away a year and a half ago. Her recipe made a lot because she had 8 mouths to feed, so I do a half recipe. And she usually uses 4 different types of meat, but if you saw my last video, I smoked an 8-pound Boston butt a couple days ago, and it's way more meat than I need. So I'm gonna make this up and maybe freeze some and use it for workday lunches. And this is pretty much the ingredients. Got my couple pounds of pork butt, a pound of potatoes, onion. I'll probably use another half onion along with that one. Some diced tomatoes, sweet corn, lima beans, and a bottle of barbecue sauce. And you also throw in their seasonings. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. I guess I'm partial to my mother's recipe, but I've never had Brunswick stew that I liked as much as hers. Now, I'm not sure how prevalent Brunswick stew is around the USA, but there's 2 places in the States that supposedly claim to be the originators. Brunswick County, Virginia, and the city of Brunswick, Georgia, which says that the first pot was made in a cast iron pot on nearby St. Simon's Island, which, as it happens, is where I grew up. So having grown up there, I ate Brunswick stew regularly my whole life. And the city across the bridge from St. Simon's was Brunswick. So that's where I always figured Brunswick stew came from. There's a third tale that it originated from an area in Germany whose name in English is Brunswick, which sounds like the most plausible theory to me. So, interesting. Okay, the first thing we want to do is chop up these potatoes and get them boiling and parboil them for about 10 minutes to soften them up. While that's cooking, I'm gonna open my tomatoes and need 4 cloves of chopped garlic. One of the best hacks I found on the internet is from a site called Cook with Brooke. I love garlic, and I feel like I'm peeling and chopping garlic twice a week. But she takes a bag of peeled garlic from the grocery store, puts it in a food processor or blender, chops it up, put it in a Ziploc and flatten it out, then use something like a chopstick or something to make indentations for these squares, throw it in the freezer. Anytime you need a clove or 2 of chopped garlic, you just break one of those squares off. It thaws out about 5 minutes. It's so easy. One of the best hacks I found. Okay, I got my onions chopped up and my 4 cans of diced tomatoes in the blender, and you just pulse it a little bit to mix it all up good. I think that's probably enough right there. Potatoes are just about done. Got my potatoes draining. Put the same pot back on, put a little olive oil in there, and I'm gonna saute my garlic in it for just a minute or 2. And we'll put everything in the big pot and warm it up. You're really not cooking the stew. You just put everything in there and warm it up for about 20 minutes. Since I'm not using the original recipe with raw meat, this is pretty simple tonight. Got the lima beans, corn, and a whole bottle of barbecue sauce in there. Now I gotta chop up the meat and add it. Some salt and pepper and maybe some hot sauce. And you know, I think I'm gonna have to move to a bigger pot because this one ain't gonna hold all of it. Got the 2 pounds of pork chopped up and put in there. I'm gonna add some Worcestershire sauce think it says a tablespoon and a half, but I just guess. You know, people started calling this wash your sister sauce on the internet, which I thought was hilarious the first 100 times I heard it. Not so much anymore. A little bit of salt. And some Siracha. And we'll stir all this up. Put it on a simmer. Let her go for about 20 minutes and that'll be done. You know, the directions say after you pour off the potatoes, use the same pot with a little olive oil to saute the garlic. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. It sticks. I don't know if it's because it was too hot or the starch from the potatoes, but yeah, next time I'll just saute it in a separate pan. And there we have it. Simmered for about 20 minutes to blend the flavors, and she's done. Man, that's going to be delicious.